Hi guys. It's Shani Bobani, also known as Shani. Um, I just thought I'd come on and make a video about what's going on. I'm gonna give a trigger warning. I will be talking about medical things and surgeries, specifically about the eye. So if that makes you uncomfortable, I don't blame you for not watching. Um, I'm gonna start from the beginning, which was 17 years ago. So, in May of 2007, I did a very stupid thing and I was driving when I shouldn't have been. And I crashed a car. I hit a tree. I skid on the road and it was a gravel road. And we did some spin outs. I passed out and we hit a tree. My side of the car, the driver's side, was completely pushed into the center console. I was trapped in the car. The windows smashed. My friend, luckily, nothing happened to her. She was completely fine. No medical anything needed. But they had to use the jaws of life to get me out of the car because my seatbelt was completely trapped. I couldn't get out. So we go to the hospital in the ambulance, and I was in shock. So they did preliminary exams. They said everything was fine. And I kept saying, there's something wrong with my eye. There's something wrong with my eye. I was screaming at them. I was screaming at my mom, not knowing that I was screaming. So they checked my eye out and they're like, yeah, that does look like there's a bit of a laceration there. Go home, shower, come in tomorrow, and we'll deal with it. And that's what kind of prompted me to make this video right now. I was actually just in the shower, which is the exact same shower 17 years ago that I was in, pulling glass out of my face. I still have a scar on my lip where a piece of glass cut through it. So the next day we go in and there was a laceration on my eye that they had to sew because my eye was leaking out. They did that and then they said, yeah, you're going to have to go for another surgery. There's a lot of damage and the lens of your eye has smashed. So the biological lens that I was born with, basically what happened, they said it looked like somebody took a golf ball and smashed a window. That's what the lens of my eye looked like. What they didn't know at the time, until they went in for surgery, was that my retina had also detached and there was a 3mm piece of glass lodged into the back of my eye. It was embedded in it. So 2 days after that, 2 or 3 days, it's been a while, I went in for surgery again and they did the repairs to the back of my eye. So there's a lot of scarring back there and they attached my retina again. Now, when they did that, I had to have an air bubble placed in my eye to keep the retina in place. And I was stuck like this, head down. I had to face the floor for 3 months. So 3 months, I couldn't go to school. I didn't finish my grade 11 year because of that. Now, I graduated, like I still, they counted it. They kept my grades where they were, so I still moved on to 12th grade in September the next year. So that was good. And I graduated and all that stuff. But after the 3 months, during that surgery, they also took the broken lens out. 3 months later, I went in for my next surgery, which was when they placed the artificial lens in my eye. Now, when they place the artificial lens, they have a sac that they create to put the lens in that goes where the lens should have been. It took a while for me to heal. I still remember I was actually here at my grandmother's house. And back then, I was in my emo phase and doing my makeup, and my hair was parted like way over here. And I always covered my left eye because I was so self-conscious of it. Because it looks weird. Like, it doesn't look like a normal eye anymore. The pupil is, it looks like a teardrop. I found out recently that's actually because during my surgeries, they had to take a piece of my iris off. So that's why the pupil is more prominent there. It also doesn't dilate. So that pupil doesn't change at all. I'm very, I have to be very careful with light. I find that if it's like the sun, even if it's a little sunny, I have to wear sunglasses because it just hurts. It's more annoying than anything, I guess. But, so my eye was fixed, and I remember the day I was doing my makeup for school, and I could only do my makeup on my right side. I wasn't allowed to do makeup on my left. So I was doing my makeup on my right side, and I moved my hair so that I could just get it out of this way. And all of a sudden I could see again. And I could see, like, it wasn't all of a sudden I could see everything, but I could see colors and shapes again. And I screamed for my mom. She came running and I was just crying because I could see. And then she started crying, and yeah. So that was 17 years ago. Now, this week on Tuesday, I was working. I work from home on a computer all day. I do dispatch and SLC for an HVAC company, as well as CSR 2 days a week, which is now changing. I'll still be working with the same company, still doing dispatch and SLC, but I'm not going to be doing a lot of customer service anymore, which is great because I enjoy doing dispatch and SLC. And it couldn't happen at a better time. So I was working and I just called a customer. They didn't answer. I hung up and then I blinked. And I mean, like, literally, I'm looking at the screen typing, and then I went, and all of a sudden I saw a bubble in my vision. And I knew something was wrong immediately. I panicked and I ran to the bathroom, which is right around this corner here, to see if I could see what was going on with my eye. I couldn't see anything. And don't mind my dog. He sees people outside and then just goes, Bubba, come on, baby. There's people doing Halloween decorations next door, so he sees them and he's mad. Bubba, come here. I don't want to start this video again. I'm so sorry. Give me a second. Hey. Stop. Sorry, I didn't want to start the video again because I've already done it twice. This is the first time I've gotten through it without crying, so I don't want to start again. So, I blinked, freaked out, went to the bathroom to check and see what was going on, and I couldn't see anything. So I ran upstairs and I'm like, Nana, something's wrong with my eye. Can you please look at it? And I'm trying to stay calm. It's not going well because when it comes to my eye, it's the only thing that I am truly terrified of. Spiders I don't like. But I have such anxiety, and I get so scared when something happens to my eye. And this is the worst thing that's happened to my eye since my surgeries. Sorry. Bear with me. So she said that she saw like a gray spot on the white of my eye. And I just said, I need to go to the hospital. I need to go to the hospital right now. It was like 7:45, 8 p.m. I'm like, I have to go. I can't drive. I don't trust it. I ran downstairs. I called my supervisor and I was crying. And I'm like, I have to go. I have to leave. Something's wrong with my eye. I'm going to the emergency room. She said, go. So I go. And the one here in our town was closed, even though it shouldn't have been. They were supposed to be open for another hour, and there was nobody even in there, but they said they were at full capacity. Either way, we drove to the next town over, which is usually, like, you're there for 12 hours. It's ridiculous. But I go in, and I'm panicking. And as we're driving to the town over, my whole vision goes on that side. I can no longer see out of it. It's not that it's, like, pitch black or anything like that. Those chemically frosted windows is the best way I know I can think of to describe it. Like, even now, I can't. Everything is just blurs. It's like looking through one of those windows and you see the other side, but all you see is like a blurred shape and the color. That's all I see. So we get into the hospital. I had a panic attack in triage, and the nurse was calming me down. I'm on medication, like eye drops twice a day for the eye pressure in my eye because I have trauma-induced glaucoma from all the surgeries and everything. So I'm on those, and I told her all the medications I'm on and all that kind of stuff. And they got me in pretty quick. Like we were only there for a total of 3 hours. So they send us to another area, which is like right across the hallway, because that's where all of the eye equipment is. And we go in, and she's looking at my eye, and she's like, the pupil's a different shape. I said, yep, that's normal. Okay. And I was like, and it doesn't dilate. Like, you will not get this eye to dilate. And she's like, okay. And she's looking at it through, you put your head on the thingy like this, and there's a strap here. And she's looking at it, and she's like, it looks like there's a lot of scarring. I said, yep. I said, I was in a car accident, and there's scarring at the back of my eye from a piece of glass that was there. So I kind of laughed because she's like, okay, I'm going to have the nurse come over and do a visual acuity test. And I kind of smirked, and I'm like, okay. So they have me stand at this line, and they're like, okay, now cover your left eye and read whatever line you can. And I got down to like row 7 or 8 or something. And then she's like, okay, now cover your right, and which line can you see? I said, I can't see anything. I can't see a hand in front of my face right now. It just looks like blurs. And she's like, oh. I said, yeah. I'm like, it's actually, it does look a little swollen today. But I digress. So they're like, okay, we're going to send you to a surgeon tomorrow morning at 10:30. I said, okay. I go home. I try and sleep. I'm scared to sleep. I'm scared to cause more damage to my eye. They tell me not to eat or drink after midnight just in case I have to go for surgery. I said, okay. We go to the doctor's office. I wait there. I'm there for 3 hours because they're so busy. They are on call for emergencies. So, and it's so funny because, like, I know I'm not young, but I'm 33, and everyone in there is at least over 60. I'm the only, like, younger person there. I was like, cool. So it's a lot of people getting cataract surgery, which is fine. I get it. It was just funny to me because I'm like, okay, I'm the only like person under 60 years old here. So they get me in, and there's 2 doctors that came in. The first one came in, and he's talking to me, and he's looking at my eye, and he's like, okay. And he's looking through the little thingy with the strap on your head and the chin rest. And he's got the little, it's like a circle, and they use it, and they like kind of push up your eyelid so they can use that lens to see the back of your eye. And he's looking through it, saying his notes to the nurse who's typing on the computer. And he's like, okay, it looks like we have what did he say? A horizontal lens detachment, or horizontal IOL fragmentation. And I laughed, like I giggled while he was looking at it. And I was like, the sad part is I know exactly what that is. And he kind of backed up, and I was like, my lens detached, didn't it? And he's like, yes. I'm like, okay. I knew that's what it was. From the night before when we went to the hospital, I'm like, my lens detached. That's exactly what's going on. My lens detached. I didn't even know that was possible. So, and my mom on the way to the hospital, I called her, and she's like, hey, or we were texting, and she's like, maybe you should wait until the morning and get into your eye doctor. And in my head, I'm going, the eye doctor's not going to get me into a surgeon right away. If I go to the emergency room, they can refer me to a surgeon the next day if it's something that needs to be done, where my eye doctor can't. So, I mean, if it had been something smaller, yeah, I would have just gone to my eye doctor, but I knew something was wrong. So then the second surgeon came in, and he's like, okay, I'm going to take a look. And then he's like, now, why is there so much scarring in your eye? I said, I was in a car accident when I was 17. A 3mm piece of glass went through my eye and embedded itself in the back. I had retinal detachment. There's a fake lens. I was like, and I guess now my lens has detached. And he said, yes, it has. He's like, the problem is that the sac that it's in has also fallen. So it's not something that they can just go and reposition. because now there's nothing for them to reposition it on. So he said he was going to call London, Ontario, which they have amazing doctors. That's where I had my original surgeries 17 years ago, but the doctor is retired now, which is totally fine. And he was going to see if he could get me in the same day. He's like, go home, but don't eat. I'll call you within an hour to see if they can get you in today. Blah, blah, blah. So I go home and I'm freaking out. And he calls me back and he goes, okay, so London says, because I had told him I'm supposed to be moving to Nova Scotia on like November 3rd. He's like, yeah, if you have the surgery, that's not happening. I said, okay, we'll figure that out. Okay. And then he called me back and he's like, listen, I spoke to the surgeons in London and they think that it would be more beneficial, since you're already planning on moving in less than 2 weeks, for you to move to Nova Scotia, and we'll get you a referral to a doctor in Halifax. I said, okay. He's like, it has to be a retinal specialist. So there can be doctors that specialize in different parts of the eye, right? Or they're called ophthalmologists, which is basically an eye surgeon. The one that I have seen, he's world renowned. He's in Toronto. I had to do a bunch of tests when we found out about the pressure in my eye, but he only deals with the front of the eye. I need a doctor that's going to deal with the back of the eye. Basically, there's like a jelly substance in your eye, and that is what they need to specialize in. So right now it's a waiting game. What's going to happen is he is doing his research. There's 3 doctors that I found out there, retinal specialists. They're all in the same freaking building though. Like, okay, cool. So he's going to send a referral to them, and hopefully I hear back sooner rather than later. Because according to them, this isn't an emergency. However, I've been told, don't jerk your head, don't rub your eye, don't lift anything over 5 pounds, don't do any strenuous exercises, don't do any strenuous housework. Because if the lens right now is hanging on by a thread, and if that thread breaks and the lens is just free floating in my eye, it can detach my retina. So I've been being very cautious. It's only been a couple of days, but I'm trying very hard. I did buy eye patches, and the only reason I wasn't told that I have to wear them. I wasn't told that I have to wear anything on my eye. It's just I bought the eye patches because right now, looking out of it, from here over is just blur. So if I cover this eye, it's easier for me to see because then I'm not seeing that blur. So I really got it mainly for when I'm working, because I'm looking at screens and it's harder for me to read the screen with that blur. It's distracting. So I do have those for myself just to make it easier on me. But I'm going to be leaving in a week today to go to Nova Scotia. Me and my boyfriend were supposed to split the drive, and each of us drive half of the way. That's not happening anymore. I wasn't told that I couldn't drive, but I'm too scared to, and I don't feel like it would be safe, especially at night. So I'm not going to be driving. I'm still working. I can still work. I'm okay there. I don't have to be under supervision all the time. I mean, I can't lift, really. I can't even lift my dog because he's a chonker. They didn't tell me I couldn't bend over, but I can't suddenly go up and down. If I'm careful, then I can do normal things. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Now when they do the surgery, because the sac is compromised and they can't use it anymore, they're going to have to take that out along with the lens. And from what I've looked at and who I've talked to and the doctors and all that, there's 2 different ways that this can go. They can either reuse the lens that's already in there, depending on the condition of that lens, or they have to put a new one in. And because I don't have that sac anymore, they're going to have to sew the new lens right onto my iris. There's going to be months of follow-up. There's some recovery time. Like, I'll be able to go back to work within a couple days, but I won't be at full capacity visually for a while. This is very scary for me, and I absolutely know there's, like, I have family members that are going through so much worse right now. Um, I haven't and that's another thing, I can't rub my eye, but when you can't itch your eye is when it's the itchiest. So, like, right now, I have an itch, and I'm like, I can barely touch it, but I just have to, because if I don't, then I'm gonna go nuts. So I just have to be careful. Um, I'm not sleeping on that side of my face because I'm too afraid of, like, pushing the pillow into my eye. So it's a lot of adjustments, and it's a lot of, waiting and seeing what's gonna happen. I can still crochet. I can still do that. I'm almost done the Adlothia shawl. I got 5 rows left. And then I've decided that I'm gonna use the lollipop to make a 6-day star blanket. So I got the pattern for that, and I'm working on my hexacardy. So that's kind of where I'm at. There's not really much there's nothing I can do to make this better, so I'm trying not to stress about it because I can't do anything. I have to wait for the doctors. I have to wait for surgery. At this point I'm useless. I can't do anything at home. I can't help. Even, like, thank God I did 95% of my packing for this move before this happened, because the only things I have left is, like, my computer, taking apart my desk, and the stuff that I'm taking with me in my car, which is, like, in a duffel bag. And my grandparents and my boyfriend are going to help me do that. But I can't do anything. I can't I was supposed to go to a concert. I was supposed to go see Evanescence in a hailstorm on Tuesday, but I can't do that. I sold my tickets. Actually, my cousin helped me sell my tickets. Because if I go to the concert and I get jostled around and they're floor seats, I could lose sight in my eye forever. And it's not worth it. Sorry. I'm very emotional about this. And I've been, like, holding it in, trying not to be and trying not to think about it. But I just wanted to give an update because I know Mom made a video, My Precious Yarnery. And Mom's great and she knows what's going on, but I'm a little bit more technical and know exactly what the doctors are saying. And again, people may not even watch this video or care to, and that's totally fine. This is more like a therapy session for me. But I'm scared. I'll be okay, and I know I'll get my sight back. As long as I'm careful between now and surgery, I'll be fine. It's just getting to surgery and going through it because I have such trauma when it comes to it. So we'll see what happens. And we'll go from there. Once I get to Nova Scotia, I'm going to start making more videos again. Bear with me. I probably will not talk about this again until I find out when I'm going for surgery, because this is hard for me to talk about. But we'll go from there. If you've made it this far, and I don't care if anybody does, I'm just putting it out there, and I'll put a link in the description. My little cousin took in a stray kitten that was dumped on the side of the road. And now we're finding out that he's got a lot of hind leg issues, and he has to go for surgery and therapy and all that stuff. So I'm going to place her GoFundMe link in the description, just so that if anybody wants to throw $5 or whatever, it's not for me. It's not even for her. It's so that she can pay this cat's medical bills. And he's just a little boy. He's just a baby. His name is Theo. He's, like, not even a year old. And this poor cat, he's, like, his spine and his hind legs are all messed up. But I'm going to place that in the description, I think. And to each person's discretion, whether they decide to look or whether they decide to donate. If you do, thank you so much. I know she's really fighting to try and save this kitten. But as for me, I'll be okay. like I said, I'm not going to probably talk about this again until I find out what's going on with surgery. And then I'll give you guys an update then. I'll still be around. I'm moving to my mom's. You'll see me in my Precious Yarneries videos. If I have an eye patch on at one point, I have an eye patch on. If I don't, then I don't. But thank you for watching and for listening. And I'm going to get ready for work because I work in like 45 minutes. So I'm going to do that. Or no, it's like an hour, but I'm going to do that. And then tomorrow I have a dinner at my boyfriend's grandparents because they want to say goodbye to us. And then it's packing on Monday, and then I work Monday to Friday, and then we're leaving Sunday or Saturday morning. So, yeah, thank you so much for being here and being supportive. And check out my mom's channel if you don't. I'm sure most of you have seen my mom, my precious yarnery. I'll link her in the description as well. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you. Bye.